The Civil Rights Act, catalyst for change in American society. Introduction. Enacted in 1964, the Civil Rights Act stands as a landmark piece of legislation that aimed to dismantle institutionalized racial segregation and discrimination in the United States. This comprehensive law addressed various facets of inequality, marking a turning point in American history. This video explores the multifaceted impact of the Civil Rights Act on American society, examining its immediate consequences and enduring legacy in the ongoing struggle for equality. Immediate impact. End of legal segregation. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 outlawed segregation in public places, effectively ending the era of legally sanctioned racial segregation in schools, businesses, and public facilities. This marked a fundamental shift in the legal landscape, striking down the separate but equal doctrine established by the 1896 Plessy v. Ferguson Supreme Court decision. Voting rights protections. The act sought to address voting discrimination by introducing measures to protect the voting rights of African Americans. Provisions such as the prohibition of literacy tests and the authorization of federal intervention in areas with a history of voter discrimination aimed to ensure equal access to the voting booth. Equal employment opportunities. The Civil Rights Act prohibited employment discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. Title VII of the Act established the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, EEOC, to enforce these provisions, promoting fair hiring practices and equal opportunities in the workplace. Impact on educational institutions. The Act addressed racial disparities in education by prohibiting discrimination in federally funded programs and activities. It laid the groundwork for subsequent legislation, including the Elementary and Secondary Education Act of 1965, which aimed to address educational inequalities. Enduring legacy. Changing social norms. The Civil Rights Act contributed to a shift in social norms, challenging ingrained prejudices and fostering a more inclusive national ethos. It prompted public discourse on issues of racial justice, paving the way for greater awareness and understanding of the systemic challenges faced by marginalized communities. Legal precedents. The Act set important legal precedents that influenced subsequent civil rights legislation. The Voting Rights Act of 1965, the Fair Housing Act of 1968, and other laws built upon the framework established by the Civil Rights Act, further expanding protections against discrimination. Diversity and inclusion. The Act laid the groundwork for increased diversity and inclusion efforts in various sectors. While challenges persist, the legal framework provided by the Civil Rights Act has empowered individuals and organizations to advocate for equal opportunities and combat discrimination. Impact on women's rights. Title VII of the Civil Rights Act, which addresses workplace discrimination, has had a profound impact on women's rights. It opened doors for legal challenges to gender-based discrimination, contributing to advancements in gender equality in the workplace. Ongoing struggle for equality. The Civil Rights Act did not eradicate systemic racism, and the struggle for equality continues. Subsequent generations have built upon the foundation laid by the Act, advocating for further reforms and addressing persistent issues such as police brutality, racial profiling, and socioeconomic disparities. Challenges and contemporary relevance. Challenges to voting rights. Despite the Voting Rights Act, challenges to voting rights persist, with issues such as voter suppression and gerrymandering threatening to undermine the principles of the Civil Rights Act. Discussions on affirmative action. Affirmative action policies, aimed at addressing historical disadvantages faced by certain groups, have sparked ongoing debates about their effectiveness and potential reverse discrimination. These discussions highlight the complexities of addressing systemic inequalities. Intersectionality. Contemporary discussions about civil rights often emphasize intersectionality, recognizing the interconnectedness of various forms of discrimination. Advocates argue for a more comprehensive approach to addressing the intersectional challenges faced by individuals with multiple marginalized identities. Conclusion. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 stands as a watershed moment in American history, reshaping the legal and social landscape and laying the groundwork for subsequent efforts to dismantle systemic discrimination. Its impact on American society is multifaceted, ranging from the immediate dismantling of legal segregation to the enduring struggle for comprehensive civil rights. While challenges persist, the Civil Rights Act remains a pivotal milestone in the ongoing quest for equality, justice, and the fulfillment of the nation's promise of equal rights for all.